I've done so many videos on the channel on social anxiety, and to be honest, I never mind making more videos. It's a topic that I always like to talk about because I've struggled with social anxiety in my life, you know, pretty much all my life, so I know how people feel. But the positive thing is, for myself and hopefully for you watching this video with the tips I'm going to share you is, I have conquered it many times, if that makes sense. But it's been a lifelong battle because, like I've said in my other videos, it's one of them things that I found in my experience. If you don't continuously practice talking to people and socializing, it comes back, you know. And the longer you isolate yourself, the stronger the social anxiety becomes. But over the years I've done many different videos, right, always sharing new things that I've learned and how to overcome it. Now obviously, you know, it's a difficult one because a lot of people will say it's a confidence issue, and I'm not going to argue with that, but I do see it a bit differently, and let me explain. Now, I'm kind of giving you the tips now as we get into this video. Now, it's easy to go, well, hang on a minute, you know, I'm anxious around people, I'm awkward, I don't really know what to say. You know, I get awkward at making eye contact, starting conversations, maintaining conversations, just, you know, I don't know where to kind of situate my body language when I'm around people, and it's just not a pleasant experience. Now, it's easy to say, you know, it's because you've got low self-esteem and you lack confidence, and that's kind of been like, that's like a general explanation that most people will give you on YouTube, and I've given that before, and there's a lot of truth in it. But since we've gone through the lockdown period and we've just come out of it now, I do see social anxiety quite different in a more positive way. I don't see it as much as a confidence issue. I see it as a momentum issue. And what I mean by that is, I'll get into it. Hit that subscribe button, by the way, if you enjoy my videos. You get a lot out of them. Now, let's put confidence aside for a second. The more you socialize, the more you get accustomed. You know, the more you get used to being around people. You get more relaxed. You don't get those big doses of adrenaline and anxiety and nervousness and awkwardness and a racing mind. Obviously, providing that you regularly socialise with people, like you see your family regularly, you see friends, you know, you go out from day to day, you interact with the public, you know, you put effort into your dating life, you know, even things like, you know, making YouTube videos, phone calls, as much socialising as possible. Like, you continuously put yourself in situations that make you scared, that make you anxious. And the more you do that, trust me, in most cases, it doesn't get worse, it gets better. So you don't have to be the most confident person in the world to overcome social anxiety. You know, people can be confident in different areas. There's certain things that I'm really confident at more than other people, and there's things that I'm not as confident at. But I do think with social anxiety, it is a unique kind of problem. But the solution is, it's the socializing, it's the momentum, it's pushing yourself, it's going through the awkwardness as many times as you've got to go through it in order to you reach that point where it's safe to say, oh, I've overcome it now, or I've got it handled now. You know, I feel a lot more relaxed around people. Because ultimately, let's be honest, guys. What outcome do we want? We want to enjoy being around people. We want to be happy. We want to be able to not be paranoid and worried, and we don't want to feel uncomfortable. So in order to get to that point of feeling more comfortable and being able to be out of your head and just talk to people and enjoy conversations and just be yourself, you've got to, you know, it's a practical therapy, like I said, and I think maybe a lot of people who have bad social anxiety at this moment in time, like the guy that messaged me on Instagram, and I get many messages on this, it's a common one. Like, some people will complain and say, why do you keep doing videos on social anxiety? And the reason is because it's an ongoing problem for people, and it's been an ongoing problem for myself. So to give you some personal insight with me, Like, the more I socialise, the less social anxiety I have. It's always been like that. And where I am at the moment, my social anxiety is really improving, obviously because of the COVID, right? That's not an excuse. With everyone, like even people that wouldn't classify themselves as having social anxiety, 2 years in isolation, they're going to get they're going to get anxiety. They're going to be rusty around people. So don't put yourself down. Don't say to yourself, "Oh, I'm less of a person. I'm insecure. I have no confidence." Because if you start going down that route, you just make yourself depressed, and then you just kind of demotivate yourself. And then like the social anxiety is never going to improve if you keep putting yourself down. So you've got to stop doing that for one. And you've got to realise, like, don't like it's not as like it is. Obviously, it's a horrible thing, but don't make it a bigger problem than it actually is. If you're having the anxiety badly, it is because you're not socialising enough. If you socialise a lot, it will improve. You will, and then of course, with the improvement comes the confidence anyway. So I'm big on confidence, and I've always said the best way to build confidence is by taking action and facing your fears, which is what you've got to do with social anxiety. But I'm trying to get you to look at it differently. Then you can feel better about overcoming it and not feel, like everyone's felt. I've definitely felt at myself at periods in my life, and that's how I've learned to not judge myself in this way. I felt like bad, depressed, ashamed, embarrassed, frustrated at myself, angry at myself, feeling like I'm not normal, something's wrong with me. But you have to get out of that conversation and realise that you are normal. You're very normal. Pretty much everyone's had it at some point. But with practice, you can overcome it. But I know for myself, it's scary at the start when you've had long breaks away from talking to people, whether it's family, friends, if it's going to work, if it's for some people, if you've been out of work, you've been unemployed for a while. Social anxiety can come for all these reasons. Or if you've been in a relationship for a long time and then you've broken up with someone and then you go your separate ways and then you're on your own now, it's easy to start getting social anxiety. But like I said, the main problem is it's a lack of socialising. It's really simple. And the solution is to socialise and push yourself. But I guess the challenge that people have, and I do my best, that's all I can do in these videos, people know that they have to socialise, but they're scared and they don't know how to motivate themselves, to push themselves to face that uncomfortable fear in which social anxiety makes you feel. But look, it is horrible. When you're in the thick of it and you've got it really bad, and I've been there myself many times, it's a horrible thing. Like, you just feel so uncomfortable around people. You get anxious, you get awkward, you feel embarrassed, you feel uncomfortable, and you just want to dive out of these situations and just, you want to get on your own and get away from people so you can feel normal again, relaxed and comfortable. And that's just human nature. But to override that, you have to and you've got to do it gradually. You've got to gear your mind up. Like anything, like getting in the gym, you've got to set a goal and you've got to say, look, it's going to be uncomfortable, but I've got to get this handled because otherwise it's going to ruin my life. It can ruin your life if you let it. So just keep pushing yourself. And, I don't know if this can help anyone, but what really helped me throughout lockdown and social anxiety was really making an effort to go and see my family more regularly. And I always love spending time with my family anyway. And I say it to my mum, she's happy. It's great practice for me as well. It's an opportunity to spend time with my family, which I enjoy. And it's an opportunity to keep working on my social anxiety and keeping it away from the door, so to speak. Keeping it to a degree where it's manageable. And for most of us, for myself included, I'm happy. If my social anxiety's manageable and my self-esteem is beyond it, like the confidence, and I'm building momentum, I'm the happiest man on planet Earth. So when I make most of these videos, it usually is aimed at people that are right at the beginning, where they've got it's like full blast and they're struggling with it, and they're scared to go out the house, go and see family, friends, and go into a shop, just buy stuff, just interact with people. And that's where I really do my best to try and get people to see sense and take the action and take the advice, because it's worked for me and it will work for you definitely. And just to be patient and persevere and not quit. And look, this is one of the key things with social anxiety. Best advice I could give. Like, you're going to have bad days of it. I still have bad days. Everyone does. You know, even when I overcome it years ago and I was, you know, doing public talks and, you know, coaching thousands, hundreds of people and dating and having a girlfriend and just being on top of the world, I'd still get bad days. I still get bad days, but I don't let the bad days get to me like I used to. And I think a lot of you who are going through it, like you let the bad days get you. And I understand that, but it's learning to have experience in life and to not get so butthurt, to take it so personal. If you have an awkward interaction with someone and you go away beating yourself up, or if you just have a bad day where you're anxious. Look, man, I get days like that, but I don't let it. I refuse to let it get me down, and then I have a really good day, and then I have a good week or a good month. So you got to take the rough with the smooth. Unfortunately, with social anxiety, it's not a perfect ride. There's not like a quick fix that you just take it and then all of a sudden you never get awkward again. But it's the way you deal with it. It's the way you motivate yourself. It's how you talk to yourself. It's being positive and you know, on the actual conversation side of things, because I know that there's different stages of social anxiety. There's just the sheer horror of just being around people and then getting those horrible emotions and anxieties and feelings of feeling like everyone's looking at you and judging you and feeling like you've got nowhere to escape to. You just feel exposed. But when you sort of get beyond that phase, then there's the bit where I suppose verbal confidence comes in, where, you know, you start being able to pick up the conversations. You know what I mean? You're out of your head. You're more loose. You're more able to talk to someone and, you know, have eye contact, but sort of not be thinking about how am I coming across? Like, what are they thinking about me? They're looking at me right now. They're thinking bad things, or I'm awkward. You get beyond that by finding a common topic of interest, whether it's whoever you're talking to, your family member, your mum, your dad, brother, sister, your friend, new person, colleague at work, somebody on the phone. You know, you get into a conversation with them. And I've kind of given you an example of how to do that if you watch my videos today, how I do. I start off, I think most people when we first do a video, it's a little bit awkward at the start, but once you get into the video, I just come into my own. And same for you, everyone's the same like that. And a lot of introverted people like ourselves, we're not less confident. People must stop saying that. It just takes a little bit more time, you know, to wind the engine up and get it started and then get yourself out of your shell and talking. And once you get out of your shell and you get relaxed and you get into that, you know, when you can have a conversation with someone, you get deep into a conversation, you lose those inhibitions. Then the social anxiety, even if it's just for that moment or that day, it's gone, it's out the window. So it is a process, and you do have to choose to be a little bit more mentally stronger and emotionally stronger. Look, just make a comparison. This is what I do. I know it's crazy, yeah? Like, imagine how scary it would be to swim with great white sharks. For me, that's terrifying, right? You could die. Imagine how scary it would be to be, you know, in a safari with alligators and wild bears. That's terrifying, man. There's not really, unless you're an expert in knowing how to deal with wild animals, and most people are not, that's scary stuff, man. So when you compare being around people, in most cases, nothing's going to happen. You're not going to die because you have some anxiety. It's going to feel awkward. It's not going to feel good, but it's not going to kill you. So sometimes you've got to think like that. I've used those comparisons to kind of get me, what am I worried about, man? I've got to get over this, and then the confidence will come. So I don't see it as much as a confidence issue, even though it can be that, because, you know, like I said, it's more of the amount you socialise. You get the most confident person in the world, man or woman, and then you isolate them for 2 years, and then you put them back out into the world. I don't care how confident they are. They're going to be rusty. They're going to be a bit awkward. They're going to be a bit in their head. Because they haven't been practicing. So it's not really, oh, I lack confidence. No, you lack practice. Because if you've been practicing regularly, the confidence will come as a result, right? I know I've contradicted myself a little bit, because obviously confidence, in my experience, comes from practicing repetition. But I'm just trying to get you to see it in a more positive way, because if you start telling yourself, I'm this, I'm no good, I'm worthless, I'm not a confident person, everybody's better than me, you just talk yourself into failure. You just talk yourself into not wanting to socialise. So I'm trying to get you to talk yourself into seeing sense and enjoying being around people. And the more you get around people, the less frightened you are, because you keep proving there's nothing to be afraid of. It's all our own demons. It's way worse in our own head than really what someone else is going to think and going to say. At the end of the day, none of us can get inside each other. So I can't stop you thinking what you're going to think, but you can, you know what I mean? You can get yourself into a good place. So it's just doing it regularly, man. I've been on both sides of the spectrum, so I speak from experience. I've had it bad, and then I've had it really good where I've just overcome it. And like I said, I'm in a process now where I'm really feeling the momentum. I'm feeling good. It's getting better because I have been doing what I encourage all you to do. I've been going and seeing my family regularly. When I go out in shops, I make an effort to even have a small talk with people. Talking to friends on the phone, meeting up with friends, and obviously now we're in a good place now with the lockdown fully come to an end on the 19th for us in London, England. And going and watching sports, sometimes you just got to enjoy life and just forget about it, man, and not obsess over it. So that's the best advice I could give you at this moment in time. But I'm always going to continue doing videos on this because it's not an overnight fix. And as I said, everyone's in a different place. For some people, going and seeing their family is a very scary, daunting thing. For other people, it's not a big deal. Some people are paralyzed to go on a first date. Other people are more comfortable. So everyone's confident in different areas. Everybody's comfortable in different areas. So that's why I make so many videos on this topic. And I keep getting requested. If people didn't email me or ask me questions, I probably wouldn't do as many videos on social anxiety because I've covered it for years. But the videos really do make a difference. And usually the social anxiety videos, they don't get that many views, but I don't really care because the people that do tune in, they're the ones that really need the advice. So, I can't be any more straight and honest and direct with, everything that I know up to this point. But if I think of any more tips, because I'm just thinking off the bat at the moment, I didn't plan this video, which is another good exercise. So that's what a lot of it is. It's learning to trust yourself more in social situations, because I think this is what happens to introverts. They go into a situation wanting to know, what am I going to talk about? Like, how is it going to go with the person? Will it be awkward? And with practice, momentum, you stop thinking like that. You just go into a situation confident and competent, more comfortable knowing that you'll be able to come up with things to say. You won't run out of things to say. And like I said, just to give you a demonstration, that's why I can do these videos like this. These are not planned. They're off the bat. I'm just riffing from my experience or from what I learned yesterday and some things in the past, but mainly new current things. And because I enjoy doing these videos and I get myself into a relaxed state by just getting started talking, going through the little emotions I've got to go through at the start of the video, until I get to this point where I come into my, into my personality self. So I also give everyone a demonstration of how it's done. So obviously it's how you do it in front of a camera, but it's exactly kind of the same when you're talking to a person. Obviously when you're talking to a person, you're not doing all the talking. They're going to have their say, you're going to have your say. So you just got to stick with it. You've got to persevere, you've got to keep pushing yourself, and then you'll get to a point where you'll be like, wow, I feel good around people, I'm confident. And then you just get more and more braver, you get more and more daring. Like, you'll dare yourself to be braver. So just to give you a quick analogy, so people are scared to come out of the house, you'll come out of the house. People are scared to go into Tesco's and buy some bread and say hello to the cashier, you'll go and do that. And then someone might be scared to go and visit their family, it's been a while, the anxiety, then you'll go and do that. You get more confidence, and then you'll go on a date. Then you might go and meet a group of friends, and you might go out to the cinema, then you might go to the gym. So it's a building process, and and you'll get there in the end. Anyone can do it. I did it. I'm just the same as everyone else. So it's just, you put the practice in, you be patient. And like I said, when you have the really bad days that are really shitty and you just feel awful, you just have to go, look, it's a bad day. Everyone has them. Don't dwell on it. I'm not going to obsess over it. Tomorrow's a new day, a fresh new day. We'll go at it again. We'll have a better day. I'll have better interactions with people. And then that's how you do it. But my last bit of advice is the worst thing someone can do, obviously it's not been our fault because of the pandemic, but now it's over. Don't isolate yourself for long periods of time. It F's you up. It really does. When you separate yourself from people, when you're on your own too much, actually, it's kind of self-created. You create social anxiety by being on your own and then being paranoid and overthinking too much. And then you just get so, people say it's true. When you spend a lot of time on your own, it happens to everyone, you get a little bit strange. It happens to me because you're just with yourself all the time. You're with your own thoughts. It's not healthy. You're not getting to have a fresh perspective, with other people. See, now I can't shut up, you see, because I've got myself into a state. I've got myself loose. I'm enjoying it. And that's where I know all of you can get, where you can just flow in conversations and enjoy being around people. Not too much anxiety, or if it does come, you can control it and then you're all right. Become fearless, like, share, subscribe. Let me know in the box below if this video helped you today. I hope it did. I'll talk to you soon.